It started with a small thought. What if I didn't spend any money for 1 week? No groceries, no Uber rides, no coffee runs, no online shopping, nothing at all. At first, it sounded like a money-saving trick. But very quickly, I realized this challenge was something bigger. It was about control, not cash. It was about how often I reach for my wallet without thinking, just to feel better, avoid boredom, or make life more convenient. We live in a world where spending has become part of our daily rhythm. Hungry? Tap an app. Bored? Buy something new. Tired? Pay for speed or comfort. But what if we stopped for just 1 week? I decided to try it. No spending, no exceptions. I used only what I already had. The goal wasn't to suffer, but to see. To notice what I really needed, what I could do without, and what I was doing just out of habit. What happened surprised me. This wasn't just a money challenge. It turned into a mindset shift. I didn't just learn how to spend less. I learned how to live more. Let me take you through the week that changed how I see time, money, and myself. Day 0, rules and restrictions. Before the challenge began, I had to set the rules. They were simple but strict. No spending at all. No groceries, no takeout, no coffee, no online orders. No ride shares or taxis. No digital subscriptions or streaming. Not even a single dollar. I couldn't ask friends to buy things for me either. No cheats, no IOUs. I had to use only what I already owned, food in my pantry, soap in the bathroom, books I hadn't read, and free apps already downloaded. I live in a busy city where everything is just one tap away. So this wasn't going to be easy. I use money to save time and feel comfortable. Now, I had to live without that shortcut. This wasn't about being cheap. It was about waking up. I wanted to see how much of my life was running on autopilot and what might happen if I pressed pause. Day 1 to 2, detox and shock. The first day hit hard. I woke up hungry and reached for my phone to order breakfast. Then remembered, no spending. I opened the fridge. Not much there. I ended up eating dry toast and peanut butter. Not fancy, but it worked. Next, I needed to get to a meeting. Normally, I'd grab an Uber. Instead, I walked 35 minutes. My legs hurt, but I also felt more awake than usual. I noticed the trees, the sounds, the people. It was strange, but nice. By the second day, the reality of the challenge started to settle in. I couldn't just grab a snack when I was bored. I couldn't buy anything to feel better after a long day. I didn't realize how often I used spending to fill small empty spaces in my day. There were moments of frustration. I found myself pacing around, opening the fridge again and again. I kept looking at food delivery apps, even though I knew I couldn't order anything. But something else started to happen too. I got creative. I made a soup from old lentils and frozen veggies. I walked to the library and picked up a free book I'd put on hold weeks ago. Without spending, life slowed down. I wasn't rushing from one thing to the next. It was uncomfortable, but also kind of peaceful. It felt like I was going through a detox, not just from money, but from noise, stress, and constant doing. Day 3 to 4, the shift, building a different life. By day 3, something changed. I stopped thinking about what I couldn't buy and started noticing what I already had. I looked deeper into my pantry and found a few cans I'd forgotten. I made a simple rice and bean bowl, added some hot sauce, and it actually tasted pretty good. My walks, which felt annoying at first, began to feel peaceful. Without my headphones in, I heard birds, people laughing, the wind. I wasn't rushing. I had nowhere to be except where I already was. Without money to buy fun, I had to be creative. I pulled out old board games, made playlists from songs I'd downloaded years ago, and even found a local community center with free evening yoga. And the best part? I felt present. Usually, I'd jump from one thing to the next, scrolling, buying, eating fast, always needing more. But with no money to spend, my mind slowed down. I paid attention. There's a saying, use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. And for the first time, that made sense. I wasn't missing out. I was just using life differently. I realized spending makes things easy, but not always better. When you stop relying on money for every need, you start building your own systems, your own rhythm. I wasn't just living with less. I was living better. This wasn't just a no-spend week anymore. It was starting to feel like a new way of life. Day 5 to 6, social pressure and identity cracks. By day 5, things got tricky, not because I was hungry or bored, but because of other people. A friend texted, "Let's grab lunch." I had to say no. I told them about my no-spend week. They laughed and said, "You're crazy." It stung a little. That's when I realized so much of our social life is built around spending. Coffee meetups, dinners out, movies, drinks. Saying no made me feel left out. I started to wonder, can I still be fun if I'm not spending money? This challenge made me look at myself differently. I noticed how often I use spending to feel included, successful, or even just normal. Without that, I felt a little exposed, like I was peeling away layers I didn't know I had. But something surprising happened too. One friend said, "That's actually cool. I might try it next week." We ended up going for a walk instead, and had a deeper conversation than we've had in months. I also found inspiration online. People on TikTok and Reddit were doing no-buy months or even full years. They shared how freeing it felt to step outside the pressure to always buy the next thing. This wasn't just about money anymore. It was about identity. Who am I when I'm not buying anything? When I'm not chasing the next thing? I was starting to learn. Spending doesn't make you valuable. Being present, kind, and creative does. Day 7. Revelations and the real cost of convenience. Day 7 felt different. I wasn't thinking about what I couldn't do. I was thinking about everything I had learned. All week, I hadn't spent a single dollar. No coffee, no takeout, no rides, no shopping. And yet I was fine. Actually, better than fine. I felt calmer, more focused, and more in control. I started to understand how often I spend money just to save time or avoid effort. But that convenience has a price, one we don't always notice. For example, cooking from what I already had took more time, but it made me feel proud. Walking instead of Ubering was slower, but I saw more, thought more, and even slept better at night. I looked up a few numbers. The average person spends $50, $100 a week on small things. Coffee, snacks, delivery fees, ride shares, apps. That's over $4,000 a year gone without even noticing. And for what? Speed? Comfort? Escape? By not spending, I discovered something money couldn't buy. Peace. A quiet mind. A slower pace. A stronger sense of self. I also noticed how much advertising is everywhere, always telling us we're missing something. But this week, I didn't feel like I was missing anything. I felt full of time, ideas, and awareness. The real cost of convenience? Sometimes it's our attention. Sometimes it's our creativity. And sometimes it's our joy. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. Post-challenge. What stays, what goes? The challenge was over. I could spend money again, but I didn't rush to buy anything. Instead, I took a moment to think, what did I actually miss? Surprisingly, not much. I didn't miss fast food or online shopping. I didn't miss ride shares or takeaway coffee. What I missed most were things that didn't cost money, like hanging out with friends or sitting in a cozy place with good company. Some habits will definitely stay. I'm planning to cook more at home. I'll walk more and take the bus when I can. I also want to keep one no-spend day every week, just to reset my mind and reconnect with what really matters. This challenge showed me that spending money isn't bad, but spending without thinking is. I used to believe I needed to buy something to enjoy life. Now I know better. Real joy often comes from doing more with less. My identity changed too. I don't feel like just a consumer anymore. I feel more like a creator of my time, my space, my day. And that feeling? You can't buy it. Want to try a no-spend week? Here's how to start. Check what you already have: food, toiletries, bus cards, books. Plan your meals using only what's at home. List free activities, walks, podcasts, reading, journaling, free events. Tell friends so they don't tempt you to spend. Avoid ads and apps that make you want to shop. Write down your thoughts each day. Notice how you feel. The goal isn't to suffer. It's to reset your habits and feel more in control of your life. At the start, I thought this challenge was about saving money. But by the end, I saw it clearly. It was never just about the money. It was about attention, about slowing down, about learning what I truly need and letting go of what I don't. I realized I wasn't broke. I was just distracted. Now I feel more in control. I'm spending with purpose, not out of habit. Because maybe the richest people aren't the ones who can buy anything. Maybe they're the ones who don't feel like they need to. And that's a kind of freedom worth chasing. Want to learn how real people are building quiet wealth and achieve financial success? Then watch this video next. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.